South East Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick.
Chambers Ireland recently appointed PR expert Sarah Freeman as its new Director of Policy and Communications, and Sarah joins me now on the phone to discuss her plans for the role. Sarah, PR is an area which you have accumulated a lot of experience over the course of your own career. But how has the world of PR changed in recent years?
Karl, I suppose it's changed a great deal. There was a time when there was a feeling that PR had to cost a lot of money and involved large events and gimmicks and one-off, this, that and the other. Really, with the advent of social media, all that has become very different because most people have a phone at their fingertips with a number of different social media pages. And so it's possible for businesses to reach out to their consumer base immediately at very little cost. So I suppose that's one way it's changed dramatically. Another way is the growing awareness of the importance of corporate social responsibility for businesses to engage in. And that's something that Chambers Ireland would feel very strongly about promoting. Increasingly we know that millennials, when looking for jobs, seek out companies with a strong CSR component. And it's a great way for companies to kind of liaise and to get to know their local community and to become a well-known champion of certain causes. I mean, it doesn't have to cost much. It can be something like liaising with your local community centre to spend time with the elderly, or tidying up the town, or talking to the local library to offer a reading day. Whatever it is, it's something that can be used to reach out to your community, to involve the local community, and to get to know your consumers even better. I
think that's a very good point that you're making in relation to corporate social responsibility, because I think for many years when people think about CSR, they would have aligned that to multinational companies, but in more recent years we're seeing SMEs engage in lots of those activities you've just spoken about.
Absolutely, Karl. I mean, I know that even Wexford Chambers, Wexford County Council achieved great work with the local community, achieving the purple flag status for the town. I mean, that's worth an estimated €3.1 million over the next 3 years. And the purple flag, as most people would know, is an internationally accredited award for excellence in the nightlife of a town or city. So that recognises Wexford as a must-visit location. A huge amount of hard work and commitment would have gone into that. I mean, I think it takes from 12 to 18 months of a commitment and a programme of work to achieve it. So these are the kind of projects that really bring a town together, a Chambers of Commerce, a county council and all other stakeholders. So really CSR benefits not just the companies and the organisations taking the projects on, but benefits everyone.
Now, looking at two other aspects of your own background, journalism and PR, what role do newspapers continue to play in modern PR?
Well, I mean, I think that's an interesting question. Increasingly, people are aware of the dangers of just getting your news from social media. I mean, the phenomenon of the echo chamber, whereby you end up only reading news that you agree with, isn't something that I would advocate. Everyone needs to be challenged, and we don't just need to see the opinions of those we agree with. So increasingly, I suppose, newspapers are imposing paywalls, and I think that's a good thing. The quality of journalism is strong, and you get what you pay for. So I think newspapers will continue to play a very strong role, whether it's in paper format or not.
Now, we have alluded to the growing popularity of social media in the PR sphere, but what advice would you have for today's SME owners in terms of standing out from the crowd and getting bang for their buck from a PR perspective?
Well, I would say to all SMEs, I suppose work smart. You don't have to pay a fortune. For example, with social media, better to do one platform properly than to half-heartedly do a number of them. Be consistent, post timely topical content regularly. Nothing looks worse than a half-hearted social media page last updated 8 months ago, and it doesn't take long to align yourselves with other like-minded organisations and to reshare their content and to build up a community that way. Liaise with the local community, find out who your customers are, channel the energy and the enthusiasm with talks, interviews, competitions. It's an organic thing that can grow slowly but surely, but it is worth doing.
Now, if you've just tuned in, I'm speaking to Sarah Freeman, the new Director of Policy and Communications with Chambers Ireland. Sarah, prior to joining Chambers Ireland, What was your perception of the organisation?
I suppose my perception, Karl, was that it was a really respected organisation. I mean, it's an incredible representative of businesses across the country, and from my work in the RTE newsroom and as a freelance journalist for various newspapers writing business articles, I would have come across Chambers Ireland's work on a regular basis. So it's incredibly relevant in towns and cities and regions across the country. They lobby to the right people in government, local and national level, and they've had some great successes, and they continue to do a huge amount of work, behind the scenes for the concerns of the members in the network.
And of course, as part of your own role, you'll be formulating policy for Chambers Ireland. But how will you approach that?
Really, I suppose research, Karl, and listening. So, I mean, our remit is to be the voice for businesses around the country, and Chambers Ireland is a formidable force in that sense. And there is strength in numbers. I mean, we listen very closely to the concerns of our members, and we formulate policies based on those. So, yeah, I would say research and listening.
Have you set specific objectives that you will be working towards over the next 12 months?
Really, at the moment, Karl, we're focused on our pre-budget submission for budget 2018. And at the moment, it's such a time of change with Brexit hanging over everything. So, the government is preparing for all eventualities and is providing for businesses to do the same. Until there's more clarity from the negotiation process, businesses can't do much more than that, much more than what they're already doing. So our policy focus and priority is really on the need for investment in infrastructure. And, we'd call for an increase in capital investment of 4% of GDP. Like, there's a number of areas that we would see as crucial for investment. Roads, ports, a second runway at Dublin Airport, broadband. Outside of Dublin, in relation to roads, there is a real need for greater connectivity between the regions, and improving the network is really important in terms of attracting foreign investment. There's a missing link, with the M20 Cork to Limerick motorway. With that investment, we'd create a seamless Atlantic corridor from Cork to Limerick onto Galway. With ports, the effects of Brexit are really unclear, but I mean, in the event of increased customs checks, the ports are going to need a significant upgrade to cope with this. So busier ports will have a knock-on effect in demand for motorway standard roads linking east and west. And in relation to the southeast, the need for investment in ports is a growing issue. Like Rosslare and Bellevue ports will likely increase in importance as potential direct routes from Ireland to mainland Europe. So we'd see these as crucial issues. In relation to the second runway in Dublin Airport, we're really keen to see the development of that. I mean, passenger numbers are growing every year. It's a vital piece of national infrastructure. Ireland is fundamentally a trading economy, and we're an island nation. So international air access is crucial for us if we want businesses to grow. Getting our broadband up to speed is so important, and we'd like to see the national broadband plan rolled out as soon as possible. The delays have gone on too long, and a huge amount of investment is needed.
Now, one other major issue that has come to light over the past 12 to 18 months is that whole area of the cost of childcare. What's Chambers Ireland's position regarding this?
Well, Chambers Ireland has done a lot of work on making a business case for why government should invest in childcare. I mean, we understand the difference any subsidies can make, and a lower cost of childcare removes one barrier to women participating in the workplace. So it's really important, and we're going to continue to ask the government to continue making strides in this regard. And
in relation to Brexit, you mentioned that your advice really to your members is to prepare. What other advice are you giving to members in relation to Brexit? Really, I suppose like you said, prepare as well as possible. Avail of the government supports that are out there. Businesses should educate themselves on where they can avail of new markets.
Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick.